this system failure, that right upper corner box, where we will address a little bit of how to build better systems. This is a great quote from James Reason. We cannot change the human condition, but we can change the conditions in which humans work.
Good.
That means that we can build better systems to prevent errors and harm. And so what do good systems do? Good systems perform reliably, they facilitate good decision making, anticipate error and capture error early, they recover quickly, and they lessen the extent of harm. We're going to talk a little bit about what each of those means. So a good system that performs reliably, you think of a fast food chain. Fast food chains pride themselves on anywhere you go to receive fast food. That food is going to taste similar. That is a reliably performing system. Systems that facilitate good decision making are systems where I think about this about order sets in our electronic medical record. They facilitate good decision making by putting the choice that you want your teammates to choose at the top, rather than putting antibiotics in alphabetical order from A to Z. We put the choice that we want the practitioner to make at the top. Anticipating error, we see this in an ATM example, such as when you're going to remove money from an ATM machine. When you put your card in, it prompts you to take your card out so that it is not left behind. Capturing error quickly, a really good example of this is if you've ever tried to send an email with an attachment and you haven't attached that, your email system may prompt and say, hey, did you anticipate attachment? And it recovers quickly, meaning that it takes you right back to that send screen. So in instances where you know things are potentially going to happen, such as car accidents, kids falling, facilitates good decision making. You can anticipate error, you capture the error quickly, you recover quickly, and lessen the extent of harm. So anytime that we are evaluating something in the Just Culture algorithm, and we get to system failure, we're using these good principles to design the system better, so that the next time that happens, the patient is not going. Our experience from our emergency departments and our inner city academic medical center, we've had 644 event reports since October of 2019, so over a 3-year period, so about 200 plus per year. Our high severity events that involve patient harm tend to fit into a couple of categories. One would be elopement, another would be self-inflicted injury while in the emergency department. Improper medication orders is always going to be something that is of concern in pediatrics, considering that they are weight-based medications, and IV infiltration or IV complications is another very common harm event in our emergency departments. Of note, the majority of these patients who were involved in severe harm events had an underlying psychiatric need. That is very important to note. We have a high psychiatric need population in our emergency department, and those patients can be very vulnerable to harm. So let's circle back to our cases. So at the beginning, we talked about a 5-year-old with a diagnostic error and a diagnostic delay for sepsis. And so as we take this type of case in the Just Culture algorithm, we can land at system failure. And what can we do to design a better sepsis detection system? We can use screening tools in the EHR, and we can use huddles in the emergency department. In fact, we are part of a national collaborative looking at early detection of sepsis and bringing providers and team members to the bedside to evaluate the patient with very specific criteria around sepsis, around fluid resuscitation, and around first dose antibiotics. So that is a system fix after a safety event. Let's take the 4-year-old. This was a diagnostic error. This was also a procedural error in an inability to establish access. So the diagnostic error and the underappreciation of the overall critical illness of the 4-week-old. This was an ER team that was unfamiliar with the care of the infant and didn't recognize that vomiting 4-week-old with hypoglycemia and hypothermia was at risk for sepsis. So this was a system failure and a failure to escalate. And the system fix here would be to design trigger tools for the escalation of infants presenting to emergency departments who are not equipped to care for critical infants. So designing call systems and trigger tools to make sure that you get those critical care experts involved in the case early, and if the ER is ill-equipped to care for the youngest infants, to transport that to a pediatric center as quickly as possible. The last case is the 16-year-old. This is a coordination of care failure. This was the elopement of a minor from the emergency department. This was a patient that came in with pediatric complaints and violent behavior. They were not intended to leave the emergency department of their own will, and this is an elopement of a minor, so this is considered a serious safety in our state. And the system failure here is design, the physical space, and the staffing models were not designed well to prevent this elopement. And so the patient was near a door that was not locked, and they were able to evade the staff very easily and get out of the emergency department. This prompted a physical redesign of our emergency department with the workflows around psychiatric. I'll end with this again, a just and fair culture. Again, balances accountability of the leaders and the staff against the learning culture. Staff is encouraged and free to speak up and report. So I hope that you have a reporting system established in your emergency department or in your hospital.